Oh
No,
yeah.
man, you had to go get your own switch. That's it.
Yes, I had to do that. We ain't had no switches around the house, so
You be out there in the yard trying them out, be hitting yourself with it. Yeah. This is what I need to get right.
I know she did have, what was it? Remember the paint sticks, the long paint sticks you used to get?
Yeah.
She had some of those. My mom had some of them back in the day, but.
Are you talking about the racetrack?
No, not the
Oh, yeah, we got the racetrack.
He's talking about the paint stir sticks.
Yeah, that's what it is. Paint stir sticks. Yeah.
Oh, paint stir sticks. I got you.
Yeah, the ones back in the day used to be long as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still like that now or what. I ain't painted nothing in forever, so.
I know someone in my family got the extension cord too, but my mom said she was gonna dial in today, so I ain't even gonna speak on it.
I feel you. What's going on, Mr. Hood?
Yeah, I had to be careful when I be talking about my childhood because I had to make sure that it was past statute of limitation.
This is part of the reason I wasn't gonna. I thought about maybe I can't handle it today because I can't laugh so hard. So, Coach, I'm gonna have to play all your funniness off, but I'll be laughing. I'll be laughing inside.
Miss Carey, I'm just gonna tell you right now. Don't talk to me about Simone Biles. Just don't bring up that subject.
I won't.
I'm trying to steer away from it.
Man, I feel like we should start the show with that then. Shit.
Yeah, I know.
Irvin been rough on the phone too, so don't worry.
What is Irv doing? Coming here with all that noise. What's all that noise, Irv?
That's my fault. Got the summer league going on. I forgot to turn TV.
Oh my God, you watching summer league?
I'm a basketball guy, man. Come on now.
Dude, that's like watching damn preseason football.
Yeah, you ready for Thursday too? I bet you're gonna be watching.
I mean, when you watching preseason football, Tom Brady got his feet up watching it with you.
Hey, that's okay.
Tom Brady ain't nowhere out there no damn preseason football.
That's okay.
Y'all out there betting on it.
I had family playing in preseason football. That's okay. I'm still gonna watch it.
They got Joe Dombrowski out there playing quarterback.
Hey, throwing 10 for 20.
Joker straight out of junior college.
85 yards a game.
Yeah. 10 for 80.
Look, come on, man, with the hatred, man, with the hatred.
Yo, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Hey, that's how we know we love them, man.
He's like hate with milk, hate with salad, hate with potatoes.
Never change.
Wow. Wow.
Well, I'm going to drop off. You guys go ahead and start the show whenever you're ready. It's 8:01. So.
Did Travis
you playing music? You done?
I'm done.
Nah, go ahead and do it. I can get the music loaded up right today.
Go ahead.
So y'all just go and start once I drop on off. Yeah, Travis going to watch Little People wrestle.
Hey, you talk about preseason football?
Yeah.
I don't know where little people came from. Why they gotta be little people all of a sudden?
Ain't that what they want to be called?
Now I don't care what they want to be called.
I ain't going there with you. I'm dropping off when you get me in trouble.
I want to be called Black.
Oh my God.
Nobody pay attention to what I want to be called, do they?
I'm not touching that one. I'm staying far away from that topic whatsoever.
Folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you from the Imperial Palace on Black Mania. Chocolate City, Mr. Irv in the building. What's going on, Irv?
Not much, man. Glad to be back. Upset I missed last week because there was some great topics I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, man.
Right.
I know we're still going to talk about them a little bit this week because I know that you got to be hurting in Chocolate City right now. Man, they done came over there and just raped y'all's basketball team.
That's all right.
I mean, if that's some sad stuff right there. And look who's here. Boy, you got a big smile on your face. I'm pretty sure I know why.
No.
What's going on, Miss Carey?
Not a whole lot. 120 mil, that's all.
Ooh.
I hear you, baby. I ain't mad at you. Share the wealth.
and 10% for your manager.
Share the wealth. That's what I'm talking about. Well, folks, we got a lot to talk about today, so we're going to go ahead and jump right on in here. Irv, I'm so glad you're here. So much going on in the NBA. Right now, guys, if y'all have been watching, it has just been free agent frenzy in the NBA. And I'm just curious because, Miss Carey, I know you big time NBA lady. You big on Phoenix and whatnot. And Irv, I know you are. That's like, you know, once you played it on the level that you play and everything else, you're that guy. So let me ask you this. I mean, is there such a thing as too much of free agency in the NBA? I mean, how do you feel about all this stuff going on, all these guys moving around?
Every summer is too much, and it's just dumb because it's I forget the phrase my grandmother used to say all the time when everybody just wants to get everything and just say screw everybody else. Land of the riches, kind of sort of type of thing.
Yeah.
So to me, it brings the quality down because a lot of the top heavy teams are just picking up all the veterans. They're not improving in young guys, and it's lowering the quality of the game. And I literally just had a conversation with a guy. He just said, this isn't the 1990s anymore. And I thought to myself, well, let me ask you a question. Out of all the teams that won the NBA Finals out of the last 20 years, you can't name me none of the top 3 players that doesn't have none of the top teams that have at least out of the top 3 players on their team, 2 of them were players that they drafted or had homegrown.
Wow.
Like, look at the Phoenix Suns, Booker and Ayton, and then you add Chris Paul.
Yep.
The team that they played against, Milwaukee Bucks, Middleton and Antetokounmpo. They added Drew Holiday. That's another piece. You have to have some type of homegrown talent that actually enjoys the place that actually gave them a chance. And then you add a veteran piece that's been there in the league maybe 8 or 9 years that's just like, you know what, my time with my first team is over. Let me improve on another team. You don't see that anymore. So when you look at the Lakers now, I'm just using them as an example, they only have 2 players that's 26 or younger on their roster right now. And one of them is a homegrown talent. They let everybody else walk or go out in trades. Now, when you look at the NBA right now and you say to yourself, out of all these guys they just decided to get rid of, who actually grew and became better? Now, you have a couple that actually became all-stars, the Julius Randles, the Brandon Ingrams. But this offseason alone, you see guys like Alex Caruso get paid. Alonzo Ball got paid. So the NBA is noticing that these guys are talented. But some of these guys are already on their 2nd, 3rd, 4th team.
Amen.
What kind of continuity and what kind of production in your league are you going to have when guys are just shipping sale, and every fan is just going to have this guy's jersey on, you know what I mean? But 2 teams ago, and it was 3 years ago.
I'm with you. Let's hear what Miss Carey has to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel similarly. What I did hear is that you're saying the Hawks have a chance since we have Mr. Trae Young and Mr. John Collins. If we stick together and we just kind of add around them,
just give them time.
That gives me hope. But I do believe it's also the fans are the same way. Like the younger fans, when I follow a couple of the Hawks webs or pages, and every time somebody else is let go, they're like, "Oh, pick them up! Oh, pick them up!" And I'm like, they're just itching for like the right now and that's not right. That's what everybody wants is right now, the win right now. And sometimes you got to just grow it from within.
Well, first of all, I'm glad to hear that the Hawks fans think that, they got what they need they just need to pick up a piece here or there because it gives you hope. And I love when you have hope because when you about 0-8 in an NBA season of 82 games or whatever it is y'all play, 82, something like that, all it takes is for y'all to be 0-8, and then you'll be like, get these bums out of here because it don't take long for Atlanta fans to give up on their team. Football, 0-3, they moving on. They talking about next year already. Basketball, somewhere around 0-8. When you 0-8, y'all be giving up. So that's where it normally goes. So I'm glad to hear that Miss Carey sees hope in Atlanta because, dude, I'm just telling you this. And I like Trae Young showed me a lot in the playoffs and whatnot. Do I think he is a star that you can build your franchise around? Well, no, I do not. I do not. I'm going to say that right now. I mean, he is no LeBron James. He is no Allen Iverson. He is no Michael Jordan. He is none of those people that I feel like you can truly build your franchise around. I think he's a piece, and I think he's a good piece. But do I think he is the centerpiece? Hell no. I do not whatsoever. So good luck to you folks in Atlanta with that.
Now, Coach, let me rebut to that a little bit, and
Come
I'm glad Jay put this video up.
Come on.
People said that about Steph Curry at one point because he couldn't stay on the basketball court with them ankle injuries. Now they were just saying this guy's just straight shooter. Let's keep Monte Ellis instead of Steph Curry. And as soon as Monte Ellis got shipped out and they drafted Klay Thompson, the sky was the limit.
Dude, I'm with you. I don't think that you can even put Steph Curry and Trae Young in the same sentence when it comes to the way they shoot from outside.
We don't know yet, though.
I think it's pure versus streaky. That's me.
Well, we'll see because we don't know yet. It's still early. It's his third year.
I'm with you, and I agree. But that's what I'm saying is that you're making my point for me. I think that sometimes we anoint these jokes a little bit too soon.
100%.
And I think that we give them way too much. You know, you trying to talk about Devin Booker being the next Kobe Bryant. I mean, God dang, he'd have to be in the league at least 20 years before I'd be trying to compare him to doggone Kobe Bryant. I mean, you kidding me? I mean, God dang, let the man get his doggone feet wet. He ain't got his feet wet. They talking about he gonna be the damn next Kobe Bryant. His ass be out of the league in 3 years. And then somebody be talking about, I thought that joke was supposed to be next Kobe Bryant. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. it's not just that. It's in every sport. You know, it's in baseball. Joker hit, 50 home runs. They about to make him the greatest home run hitter of all time. I mean, it's his first year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. So anyway, and there you go. Thank you, Jason.
Yes.
How many times somebody said, oh, this is going to be the next Jordan?
Yes.
Penny Hardaway was going to be the next Jordan. You know, every time somebody came out and could jump from midway in the paint to the damn rim, he's going to be the next Jordan. It ain't no next Jordan. Ain't no such a thing. Ain't nobody going to be the next Jordan. But you better be trying to be the first whoever you are.
Exactly. 100%. I say that all the time.
So, yeah, I agree with you, Jason, very much so. Anyway, moving right along, let's talk about they said there's a big three now in Miami with Bam Adebayo, and then they just picked up, who's the other guy in Miami, Irv? Help me.
Kyle Lowry.
No, I know he just got there. I'm talking about who's there already.
Oh, Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, thank you. Butler, Adebayo, and now Kyle Lowry. And listen, I know y'all say I'm a hater and all that. And here's my thing. Kyle Lowry has always looked to me like somebody who just got over a hangover or something. Yeah. He always looks like he ain't kept real good. His hair is like not twisted. It's just kind of just a regular afro. And he always looks like he just is about to get drunk or just got through getting drunk when he out there on that basketball court. He looks like a JUCO guard, offensive guard. He looks like his backside is a little bit too big. It's just something about him that just looks like he ain't even supposed to be out there on the damn basketball court. Now, I know he's a baller. He's a player. But to me, he's that kind of player who can self-destruct at any time. At any time, he could be done. That's just me. So I'm not that big of a believer in Kyle Lowry to think that he could be one of a big three for anybody, even Atlanta. Even Atlanta, I don't think he could be a big three for nobody. Irv, what do you think?
This is just the talk that everybody does to make it seem like you have to have a big three in order to do something. And it gets annoying. Like, we talk about this every summer. Oh, they got a big three now, and they got this. And then you just realize that they just got three really good players on their squad right now. Like, you don't have to have a big three to win. You just have to have a solid team. And it just so happens a lot of the winners always have like one extremely great superstar on their team. I'm just tired of this. Like, Miami has a solid squad. They made a trade that I kind of didn't like. They got rid of the guy who's playing for Nigeria, Precious Achonwa, who I think is going to be good later on in his career. But I think this is one of those reasons that I say sometimes you pick up a crafty veteran, but you get rid of a guy that in the future could sustain your winning.
Look at him. Look at him. Look right there.
Yeah.
Tell me that don't look like you overweight. Look at him.
Hey, that's what. Hey, look. Everybody said that about Chauncey Billups.
Look at him. Look. I like watching him play because he don't even look like he needs to be out there. I mean,
that Philly dog in him.
He gives hope to me, Irv, that I might be able to revive my NBA dream.
And we got time.
I might be able to get out there and play with.
We got time. They paying $250 million. Let's get 10 of that.
Dude, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Miss Carey, what do you think about the big three in Miami?
Yeah, I am a Jimmy Butler fan, but I am not a Kyle Lowry fan. I never have been. I think I don't know what about him turns me off. What about his game turns me off? But I do agree with you. He always looks like he's got a grilled cheese sandwich in his pocket. Like, he just looks slow. But obviously he does. He wins games. So he's just not my style of player. I don't know what about him makes it that way, but not my style.
You said something about that grilled cheese sandwich. I don't think it sat right with Irv. Irv, what's wrong with that grilled cheese sandwich? In his pocket.
You know it's bad.
You eating grilled cheese? Oh.
Oh, that's real bad. All right.
As soon as she said grilled cheese, I'm like, oh, right in front of me.
I love grilled cheese, but you shouldn't be eating it while you're playing basketball. And for me, that's what it looks like. He looks slow to me.
I agree. I'm with you. Moving right along. Somebody will be concerned about this next topic we're about to have. CP3 decided to stay in AZ. Did he make the right choice? Irv, what do you think?
I think he did, and the way he went about it as well. They freed up $10 million in cap space doing it.
Okay. But why do you think that's the right choice? You think they can repeat as champions of the West?
They got a good shot as long as everybody gets better. They got a lot of those young boys are still on those rookie contracts. So, I mean, they're not really replacing much. Everybody's coming back. Let's run it back.
I know, but everybody also has to remember that they kind of won the West by default.
We say that every year.
Because, well, I'm just saying, everybody knows LeBron and them will beat up. Everybody knows that same thing with Kawhi. They will beat up. Golden State was beat up. And so Phoenix was all that was pretty much left. I mean, I don't even think there was another team out there left. I mean, you say Denver if you want to. But like I said, I mean, with that being said, Miss Carey, with that being said, can Phoenix win? I know I'm asking the wrong damn person. Can Phoenix win with a fully powered Western Conference?
I think that they can. And people, I mean, as much as you want to say they played to hurt LA, they played to hurt Clippers and Lakers, still people were picking against them. They didn't think that they had the firepower to get past those two teams. And they did so easily. So I think that, and Chris Paul was hurt as well, and he still played well. So I think they got, who'd they pick up? JaVale McGee, he's no slouch.
Don't do that.
Don't do it for real. They needed backup. They needed somebody else to come in once they sit big Ayton down. Yeah. So we'll see. I think they can do it.
I do like that pickup.
I'm not convinced that they've improved their team enough to do it. I think that when you have and especially now that you've got this target on your back. I mean, everybody wants you now. So everybody's gonna step their game up. when they play against you, especially out there in the West. And the West is wild, wild West. I mean, it's pretty strenuous out there in the West right now. You got, like I said, maybe 4 or 5 teams that can do it, including Denver. You know, they've got a marquee star now, and he's very difficult to deal with. I think that I think he made a bad decision, especially if he's trying to get a ring in. If he only feels like he's got about 2 or 3 more years left. You know, I thought that he might leave and go to the Lakers or leave and go to somebody else where he thought he could get him a ring. And if that's what he's chasing, or that's what the reason why he is thinking that, you know, he's going to go back to Phoenix, I think he made a mistake. I think he should have picked a little bit better, especially like you said, or if he's willing to give up money and free up cap space and do all that stuff. I think you need to pick somebody who's a little bit more apt to get that ring than the team that you're on right now. I don't think that's a good decision. Let Ms. Carey have the last word since we're talking about a boyfriend.
I was going to say he didn't give up money though, did he?
No.
Irvin? No,
he didn't give up money. He just the fact that the last year of every contract is stupid, so they redid it, and the first year, you know, the cap penalty is less.
I got you.
Yeah. And at the beginning of the season, Coach, you were like, why? What GM would pay Chris Paul that much money? He's so unproven. He hasn't done anything yet. This is why. And then on top of that, they give him 4 more years, 120 mil. He does something to your franchise, and he's coveted. So I don't think he's a ring. He wants to win a ring. Everybody wants to win a ring, but he's not a ring chaser. So that's the reason he hasn't gone to the bigger teams or to the teams that are closer to it. He's a teacher. He's an instructor, and that's what he does best. So let's leave him where he is, and we'll see you at the end of the season.
Spoken like a woman with the conviction of intimate knowledge. I'm just going.
Walk right into it.
No, I'm not.
I'm just gonna leave it at that, or we're gonna move right along.
No, I'm not touching that.
All right, we had the NBA draft this past Thursday night. Is that where you were? Did you go to the draft? That's why you weren't on the show. You went all week long at the draft.
I was not wasting my time watching. I did watch the draft because I did like make a little podcast with it, but I got to the point where I got upset.
Yeah, I didn't watch the draft. I ain't gonna lie to you. There ain't no way in the hell I would ever watch the draft. But not the NBA draft anyway. But obviously, I was wrong about the Pistons. I thought they were gonna trade the pick, but they got their man. They got their man out of the Midwest out there. Who are the big winners and losers in the draft, Herb, in your opinion?
The biggest winner.
Don't talk about LA yet. We're gonna talk about LA in a little bit.
Nah, I honestly, it's hard to decide who the biggest winner is right now. I think the biggest winner right now is Orlando getting Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga, and then Detroit with Cade Cunningham, the #1 pick, and then the biggest loser is everybody else because it's like you just had to draft somebody. Because the only other person I really liked in this draft was Sharif Cooper, who was the point guard out of Auburn, who fell to the Hawks for some freaking reason.
Hey.
Like I was fairly disappointed. Like a guy who basically is the prototypical point guard that you want in the NBA dropped not only to the second round, but late in the second round. Wow. And the whole time I was watching the draft, I'm like, okay, this team definitely needs a point guard like him. Like, why is he getting overlooked right here? And at first I was like, maybe his size, but then I was just like, okay, he'll just give him a reason to like him later on. But I think everybody lost in this draft. That was not the Pistons and the Orlando Magic.
Interesting. Let me ask Ms. Carey. Ms. Carey, I'm gonna have to frame your question slightly differently. Who won or lost in the draft? No, not lost. Who won in the draft other than the Hawks and Phoenix? Who else won? I know you feel like both of them won.
I didn't pay attention to anybody else.
There you go.
But Irvin, you didn't mention that the Hawks did get Jalen Johnson as well out of Duke. Were you not excited about that pick?
I'm not excited about quitters. And he quit on Duke.
Wow.
Because he wasn't playing.
Wow. He made Coach K. He probably retired Coach K.
He basically left Duke because Coach K worked him, and he didn't like it.
He didn't like working.
It was just, I couldn't believe it. Like he basically got drafted off his high school status and not because of what he did at Duke.
Yeah, he was a young Allen Iverson. He like practice.
like most of the guys I don't like coming into the league are guys that either went to 3 different colleges or transferred because they didn't like how the organization of college was. Because once you get to the league, it's worse. So how you gonna deal when you get to the worst part of basketball, the professional level?
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm not big on these guys spending 1 year in college and going to the NBA and all that. Now, I think that's hurt the league. I think it's watered down the league for years. And some of these guys that were drafted first overall or first round draft picks straight out of high school are gone. I mean, they're not even in the NBA anymore. And so, like I said, I'm not for that at all. And especially, like you said, some jackass that wouldn't listen to Coach K. I mean, are you serious? I mean, you got to be kidding me. Who doesn't listen to Coach K? I mean, I know in the world I would even drafted him. I'd be like, wait a minute. If he didn't listen to Coach K, how in the world are he going to listen to the coach we got now? Coach K coached the Olympic team. You know, he been coaching pros forever.
Okay.
Man, please.
All right. Let's see what he does.
I agree. We'll see what he does. But all right, tell me some. You say everybody else was a loser. Nobody in particular.
I'll be honest, and I hate saying this, but the Wizards were one of the biggest losers. Basically, the last 8 drafts, they drafted a small forward, and nothing changed. They just drafted another small forward who plays the exact same way as the guy that you drafted last year, which means you're not even giving him a chance to progress. I do like the Isaiah Todd pick, the big guy that played in the G League last year, but I'm going with the Wizards just because I wanted Sharife Cooper to come to Washington.
I got you. Well, we know what happened to Washington, and Mr. Osiris Walcott said LeBron James is still in the league, so we are going to address that right now because Mr. James now has a new teammate, Mr. Westbrook.
Oh boy.
And Mr. Westbrook came from Irv's team out there in Chocolate City. So, do we feel like this is a good marriage out in La La Land, Miss Carey?
I just can't see who's going to concede. Those are 2 really big hotheads. I shouldn't say hotheads, strong-willed characters. And I can't see who's going to back down and concede to the other. I think it's going to be exciting basketball, but I don't know if it's going to be winning basketball.
Irv, what do you think?
Listen, everybody's pulling out the meme from when LeBron looked at J.R. Smith for being idiotic. It's going to be a repeat. It's the first game that Russell Westbrook goes 3 for 27 at a triple-double, and they lose by 5.
I hear Miss Peavy asked the question, said, will the NIL slow that down about these guys going to college early? And Miss Peavy, we got that. We're going to talk about the NIL here in a little bit, and we'll address that then. But, guys, I think this is a train wreck waiting to happen.
Yes.
You know, Russell Westbrook says, and I did not know this, and correct me if I'm wrong, since you're the basketball aficionado, they say he's from LA.
100%.
If he is from LA, oh my God, this is a train wreck waiting to happen. Because you know good well he's gonna be trying to show out for his people. Oh, yeah. And you know, LeBron got to be front stage, center stage whenever he's out there. So can you just imagine, like Irv said, because we all know Russell's going to have these bad shooting days as he has from time to time. And is he going to stop shooting? No, he is not going to stop shooting. He is going to keep right on shooting, and LeBron's going to be like, what the hell? And LeBron is very demonstrative when he's out there on the basketball court. I mean, he's over there pouting and throwing his hands up in the air and grabbing his forehead and all kinds of stuff. He is going to show out when that time comes. I guarantee you, he's going to have some words in the huddle for Mr. Westbrook. So everybody, like Terrell Owens said, get your popcorn ready. I guarantee you, you're going to see some blow-ups on that sideline and on that court with the two of them together. I don't know what the hell somebody was thinking about when they did that, but they weren't thinking about cohesiveness in that unit, in that locker room. I guarantee you it is going to be hot to trot in that locker room. I promise you. I don't know. What were they thinking?
Look, Coach, watch what's going to happen. The very first game of the season, they're going to beat somebody by like 15 points. Everybody's going to have great statistics, and they're just going to be like, see? And I'm just going to be like, we still got 81 more games.
Amen.
Like, it happens every single year. The Clippers last year when they beat the Lakers first game of the season. The Clippers own LA now. I'm sorry, but the Clippers still ain't won the championship. LA got 37. It's they do this every year, and the first thing I say is, can we at least get to the All-Star break before we start doing all this crap? But it's going to happen, and I'm telling you guys, and I do this all the time. I like to post things as bait posts just to get the ignorant LeBron James fans to come out. Well, once they win that first game, it's gonna be nuts.
Mr. Osiris Walcott.
Look, hey Jay, I did it today, so it's whatever.
Yeah, you can't talk about LeBron for so long, and Jason about to disconnect everybody in a minute. We keep talking about LeBron. Mr. Osiris Walcott said, but LBJ will check him if necessary to fall in line. I can't wait till that happens. Yeah, LBJ might get a swollen forehead if he tried to check Russ. I can tell you that because Russ is that kind of guy.
Yes, indeed.
He is that kind of guy. So Mr. P said LeBron's getting older, so he might welcome the help. LeBron got to be the man. I'm going to tell you that right now. LeBron's going to be the man until he's not the man. And the only way he's not going to be the man is he's going to check himself out. So when he decides to retire, that'll be it. And then, that's going to be a damn hour-long special, when he makes that decision. And, I mean, it's going to be a bunch of just much more foolishness and whatnot. But it is what it is. So anyway, moving right along, we're going to shift gears now. And speaking of just a matter of time before something happens, let's talk about the NFL and Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Guys, the more I see this and the more I listen to this nonsense in these press conferences that they're having, is it just me or does anybody not see that this is just going to be a bad marriage right here for this 1-year contract that he has? Ms. Carey, what do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was, remember I voted, I thought he wouldn't come back. I thought he'd sit out a year.
You did.
And I think, like, for me, it's almost like he let Green Bay win by coming back to play. And so I can't see, first of all, I don't see them winning. I don't see them winning a chip. They might come out of the NFC North, right? I think that's where they're from. But I can see them coming out of there, but they're not going to go much further than that. I thought that he would not come back because it is a win for Green Bay. Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers played chicken, and Aaron Rodgers lost. And I thought he was too big of an ego to let that happen. But, I don't see it working out, even though they did get his man back, Randall Cobb. That was just a start. I don't see it working out.
But did he really lose? Did they really lose, or did he really lose? Irv?
That's a tough question. In a way, I do agree with what Carey said, 100%. But ultimately, it's like we won't know the answer until this season is over with.
And you're right. I agree with you there. But my whole thing is that he got a big bag.
Yep.
So we know he didn't lose as far as that's concerned. He got Randall Cobb back. So we know he got that. And he has the power to be like, you know what? Man, forget this bullshit.
Basically.
I mean, he could do that any day he wanted to. And just be like, man, you know what? I was right. I should have taken my ass out of here, and I'm taking my ass out now. I quit. I mean, he's got enough money to do whatever he wants to do. So like I said, I mean, we will have to kind of wait and see what he does. But I kind of feel like he's sitting in the catbird seat right now.
Yeah.
But he asked to be traded. He said he said trade me. That was what he said. I don't want to play in Green Bay again. And what is he doing? He's going back to play in Green Bay.
Well, this is true, but they're saying that, like I said, they gave him a big bag. And then on top of that, and this is what I find is kind of the rub point for me. Because you hear Aaron Rodgers say, well, you know, I've always wanted to be part of discussions and whatnot and those types of things. And I think, you know, we're going to see that happen now. Then they interview the GM, and the GM says, well, you know, the GM always makes the decision for the team. So the GM makes the decision for this franchise, and nothing's changed there. I'm still going to be the one making the decision.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, who missed the meeting? I mean, somebody missed a memo or something because, I mean, they're saying two totally different things. Yes. And so I think it's just a matter of time before this happens. So anyway, moving right along, let's move forward here. Guys, it's like I said, I mean, there are some franchises in this league that are just bad franchises in the NFL. I mean, just, you know, Jason and I came up with something a long time ago. We tried to pass it by Travis. Travis wasn't going for it. You know, when you have a franchise that can't make the playoffs like, you know, 10 years in a row, it's time for a new owner. I mean, if you can't.
Yeah.
Me and Jason talked about this a long time ago.
Yeah, we had a set of rules. We were saying if you are an owner and your team doesn't make the playoff in 10 years, you got to get rid of your franchise. If in those 10 years you don't have an above 500 record, you got to get rid of your franchise. And I forgot we had one more condition too, Coach. It was
I know. I can't remember
it was
all
something
of
like, when you're just in that for 10 years, you got to give up. You got to automatically sell the team. You got to.
Y'all got to understand. Jason and I do this because everybody knows I'm in line to be the next NFL commissioner. And so when that happens, you know, I was consulting with Jason, use him as a consultant to, you know, help me out with the new rules that I'm going to put in place. And I mean, if you heard that a franchise had a big fight today, I mean, bench clearing brawl today, I mean, first thing that came to my mind was, well, who are they fighting? Because, you know, a lot of times these teams play each other and have, you know, these things and whatnot. How about they were fighting each other? I mean, a bench clearing brawl fighting each other. Now, I know when you hear that, the first thing you think is NFC South. That's what would come to my mind first. Gotta be some dumbass Falcons, or maybe, you know, somebody like Carolina, somebody stupid like that. But no, lo and behold, it was the New York Giants. The New York Giants had a bench clearing brawl today against each other, and Daniel Jones, the quarterback, the starting quarterback, wound up being thrown down on the bottom of a doggone pig pile. And God knows what could happen to somebody if you've ever been in one of those. Talk to me and tell me what the hell's going on up in damn New York.
Listen, I love
New Jersey.
I love every minute of it. Go ahead and keep on fighting. And matter of fact, go ahead and step on your quarterback's arm while you're at it. Just
unbelievable.
Have some fun. No, honestly, hearing with having a couple family members and a couple guys that I know that played going through training camp, this is normal, but a lot of times you don't hear about it. But when it came to this particular brawl, they actually had cameras from NFL Network there at the time. So everybody's going to hear about it now.
Wow.
Like it's. I've had a couple family members that actually started fights, but the only people that knew about it was just us. So, like, it's just bad situation, bad timing that you got cameras all over the place for this big brawl with your quarterback underneath the bottom of it, which is funny to me. But listen, this is normal from what I hear.
Miss Carey, what do you think?
I think it's a lack of leadership. They got a no-name coach, a no-name quarterback, a no-name everything. There's no leader there, so I'm not surprised.
Well, what about the head coach? Shouldn't the head coach supposed to be? I mean, he admonished the team, and then he ran the hell out of them and did all those things, I guess, that a coach is supposed to do. I just find this to be insane in today's world of professional sports. Most of the time, you can't get these jokes even go out there and play hard when you're paying them all this money and whatnot anyway in training camp. These jokes out there rolling around on the ground, fighting each other. I mean, over a hit. They said that somebody made a hard tackle on the running back. Evan Ingram, the tight end, went over and shoved the guy, hit the guy, whatever. And then pandemonium. I mean, they said all hell just broke loose out there over one hit.
I love it.
I mean, is this a good thing or a bad thing, Miss Carey, for the Giants?
Coach, for a second, if I can go back, did you say it's not about the coach?
No, I was saying that. I said, well, maybe it is about the coach because I said, the coach, he tried to step in and admonish the team and that sort of thing. But when you look at this, is this something, if you were a Giants fan, would you say, hey, I like this because, this is showing our team has some grit, which we hadn't had in a while. And I mean, it shows that, these guys are ready to doggone it. If they're getting after each other like this, think about when they're going to get after somebody we really don't like the Cowboys or like Washington or like Philadelphia. Our division is going to be tough this year. And our guys are ready to play now. Or do you say, man, look at these dumbasses can't even get along with each other. I mean, you got to be, how are we going to play together when we got a bench clearing brawl? Is it good or is it bad? How do you see it, Ms. Carey?
I would think it's bad just because I would think if you don't have a united stance within the locker room, I mean, how are you going to have a united stance against an opposition?
I agree. Irv, what do you think?
I think in this case, football is a little bit different. Sometimes this can bring a team closer. Sometimes you can find the bad apples, and then it brings everybody closer when you get rid of that one bad apple.
Well, that's true. I mean, yeah, I can see both sides of this. I mean, because I'll be honest with you, as a coach, I've heard many times people say, what we need out here today is just a good fight.
Yeah.
We just need a couple guys because this team right now has no grit. I mean, there's no and you want something to happen. You want somebody to get pissed off and do something and have a little, nothing that the coaches are going to allow. And certainly not a bench clearing brawl where offense and defense are just going at it all over. But just one or two guys maybe kind of get into it some to just kind of get some juices flowing a little bit. Practices seem like they're too mundane or too something like, do what we need out here, just a good fight. Just two or three guys just kind of going at it and not a bench clearing brawl by any stretch of imagination. And that is kind of a little coaching tool that you use to kind of get people to step up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I could see it on that end of it. When I heard it was this big bench clearing brawl and everything else, that's never wanted, especially when your quarterback is in the ball. A report asked him and said, most quarterbacks would just kind of stay out of that and not get involved in that, seeing as how, you're already made out of glass and everything else. You might want to stay away from that thing. He was all gung-ho. No, I'm part of the offense. And if my guys are out there, I'm going out there with them. Just like a dumbass. Who says something like that as a quarterback? I mean, They already got rules where people can't even breathe on you. And you're going to run out there and jump in the middle of a doggone pig pile and have 280 or 380 pound linemen laying on top of you and all that other. I mean, that's just dumb. I mean, I don't want to hear that old macho BS. I mean, that's just stupid. So, but anyway, that's Daniel Jones as far as I'm concerned. So, speaking of big hits, I read today that there was another gentleman in a defensive back in Carolina who knocked out one of his teammates and sent him to the hospital, and with a concussion probably, and he was released right after the practice. What do you think about that, Ms. Karen?
Yeah, I don't really know the ins and outs of football teams and practice and how hard you're supposed to play and who you're not supposed to hit or how hard you're supposed to hit, but somebody did, and that crossed the line, and he went bye-bye. I wouldn't be surprised if he got picked up by somebody else, though.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody who likes that kind of grit, that kind of fight, like you were talking about.
I hear you, Irv. What you think?
Now, I wish I should have read up on this a little more before we got up on here, because I wanted to know what drill it was where this hit happened. Who was it that he hit? Because if you just hitting another practice squad guy, we might have to talk. You might have to we might have to discuss this waiving.
I'm like you, Irv, and I agree with that. I think though this was a pretty important person for the team.
Okay.
I think this was a veteran, a guy who's been around and whatnot. There it says right there, the Carolina Panthers rookie safety was kicked out of practice and then waived Tuesday after hitting wide receiver Keith Kirkwood too high during a team drill. Kirkwood put on a backboard and on a cart. He was then placed in an ambulance. So there you go.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. It's a guy that they just drafted, so he was supposed to get significant time. Yeah, you got to lay up on some of that stuff. Some of the incidental contact, you can't control. But if you just sizing somebody up in practice, you got to know to let up.
Mr. Hood says the video of the alleged hit didn't look that bad or hard at all. So Mr. Hood seemed to think that he wouldn't have cut the guy. Maybe Jay has it here for us to see. I'd like to see the hit, especially since it cost somebody his job. I would love to see the hit, and under the circumstance.
Okay, that looked like a safety hit.
And Twitter is saying the same thing. A lot of NFL players are like, "What? They released him?"
Yeah, if that's the case, he will more than likely.
Okay, yeah, that's come on.
What is that? That didn't look like a big hit at all.
The landing looked worse than the hit.
If that's a big hit, I'm really worried about Carolina. If that's the biggest hit they're gonna put on somebody, or they consider that to be a big hit, they might not even beat the Falcons if they think that's a big hit right there.
Always.
What did I say? Did I say something bad?
Slight punch to the gut. Just a slight one.
Just a little one.
Just a little one.
Matthew Collette says it's always rookies trying to establish themselves. And then here's the thing. When you are a rookie, you do need to establish yourself. And so, but that right there just looked like a routine play to me. Now, he might have hit him a certain way, maybe it was a rib. I thought they said it was a headshot. I did not see a headshot.
That looked like a rib shot.
It looked like a rib shot to me, too. Maybe knock the wind out of him or something. But, you can't really see the impact of it because of that pole that's in the way. But again, see, it looked like I don't see a headshot. I'm sorry, I didn't see a headshot in there anyway. I know Jay trying to slowly rewind it so we can see the actual shot. But there you see him being carted off. So apparently, I hate to hear about these kind of things. Obviously, number one, I hate to hear about somebody getting hurt. Number two, I hate to hear about somebody losing their job that way because that stings right there a lot. So Who knows, guys? I'm not sure. But Mr. P, to stop talking about me and you being friends. Listen, you know I can't stand no Falcon. You know that. Don't even act like I don't know why you and Miss Carey. No, I do not like anything Atlanta. So, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all give me a break. Y'all know I don't do that with these Falcons. I can't take it. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. What I tell y'all about Carson Wentz? Will somebody please, who still believes in Carson Wentz?
Carson Anthony Davis Wentz.
Who believes in Carson Anthony Davis Wentz?
Mm-hmm.
I need Travis's ass on it. That's what I need. Because Travis is still a believer in him. Now they saying Carson Wentz is going to be out for between 1 and 4 months. Carson Wentz is going to be out between 1 and Jason said he believed in Wentz. Jason, get your ass back on this show.
Look. I believe he's gonna get injured. I believe he's gonna throw some dumbass interceptions. I believe that he's gonna miss open receivers, and I believe that people still gonna say he got a good arm. So you're gonna give him another job.
There you go.
The next destination.
Give him another job.
That about Carson Wentz.
And let me tell you what's gonna wind up happening in the end. Carson Wentz is gonna wind up being the head coach in the NFL somewhere.
Oh God!
Watch see what I tell you. Watch and see what I tell you, guys. I'm so tired of hearing about Carson Wentz. When that thing came across the ESPN ticker tape the other day, I mean, I almost couldn't go to work. I was in here laughing so hard. I'm like, I told y'all a long time ago, when that joker first came out of college, I said, there's something about him I just don't like.
Yeah.
I just do not like him. And it's been that way ever since. When that came across the other day, I said, I'm done. This will be the last time we're going to mention his name on this show. If that joker is the damn MVP of the league and MVP of the Super Bowl in the same year, we ain't going to mention it on this damn show. I'm done talking about Carson Wentz because that's just ridiculous. He was so overrated from the jump. And I mean, I don't even want to stop showing that stuff, Jason. I don't even want to watch that stuff. I mean,
he believed. He said he believed, and he's showing you what he believed in.
No doggone Carson Wentz. Now, let's head to the Olympics. Let's talk about the Olympics for a minute. To me, only thing left to talk about, and I'm going to leave this up to Miss Carey. Only thing left to talk about, and Irv, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Go for it.
Can the men's basketball team bring home the gold? That's the topic. That's the only topic left for me as far as the Olympics are concerned. Somebody said on here earlier, I think might have been Richard or somebody put up that the Olympics were a letdown or disappointment. Somebody made reference to that. I'm not going to go that far because I'm not really an Olympic watcher. Now, when you are an insomniac like I am, and it's hard for you to sleep at night, I've been watching Olympics because it's the only thing on TV. But I'm just asking, Irv, can the men bring home the gold?
Yes.
Wow.
But it won't be easy.
Wow.
The bad part is I think right now is when they're actually starting to get a feel for each other. So obviously when we saw the exhibition games and the first game in the Olympics, and it was like, there's no way they're winning the gold. But after watching the last couple games, they look a little more comfortable together. A lot of the guys that shouldn't be over there playing is not playing as many minutes. So the continuity is getting a little bit better.
Okay.
They got a chance. They do got a chance. I'll give them that.
Miss Carey, what you think?
I mean, I'm glad to see that they've kind of turned the corner, and I do attribute a lot of their more recent success to the one leader I said that they had, which was Draymond Green, and now
Devin Booker's over there.
Dude from Booker, of course.
Of course. That's the only damn reason they got a chance now. Because some damn body from Phoenix is over there. And so now, of course, they should have thrown Chris Paul's little short ass over there and let him play too. You gotta be kidding me. We're talking about some damn Devin Booker. I guess if Chris Paul's over there, they'd be winning. They'd be a shoe-in to win, wouldn't they? if Chris Paul was there.
Is he still? Look, am I still talking? Is my mic on? Is my mic on? What I said earlier was that they didn't have leadership, and you could see it, and that the strongest leader that they had was Draymond Green. Now with Drew Holiday is a leader, and you can tell the difference in their game since he's been there.
Okay, Irv, what do you think of that? What do you think about that, Irv?
I heard you sigh.
No, I'm reading the chat. That's what I'm oohing.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I saw that too.
You coming for me right now? Hey, we're not gonna compare the U.S. Olympic team to the Falcons winning the Super Bowl. That's blasphemy. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna cut that out right now.
I hear you, Richard. I ain't mad at you, Richard. I ain't mad at you. I think they might have a chance, and like you said, ever since Book and some other pieces kind of got over there, it seems like they've done something to mesh with Durant and you know, some of those other guys, Draymond. It seems like it's starting to come together. I don't know if it can come together in time to win the gold. Now, maybe a silver, maybe a bronze. I think they will win a medal. I'm just not convinced that they will win the gold. I mean, that's the way I feel about it.
This next one is tough. I think they play Australia next, which is the number one rated team going into the Olympics. So this is going to be a tough one for them. Australia
is always tough. All right, guys, we got about 5 minutes. We're going to close out with these two topics right here. First topic, Clemson and FSU have expressed interest in joining the SEC. Irv, talk to me.
Just get rid of all the conferences, man. Who you want to play this year? Let's just play this. This is set up the schedule that way.
It's about to be the SEC
and everybody else. Just get rid of the conferences right now.
It's going to be us against the world. Miss Carey.
East, Central, West, and the SEC. That's it.
Miss Carey, what do you think?
I defer to you, Coach, and you, Irvin. I'm not a college football fan.
I am a big-time college football fan, but I think this is getting out of hand. I think this is getting outrageous. And I love the SEC. Jason will tell you, Jason says I love the SEC a whole lot more than I should and whatnot. But, and I know, somebody just said, Mr. Peep said Clemson needs to, maybe not Florida State. Florida State hasn't been very good in a while. But there it is right there. Clemson, Florida State reach out to SEC about joining the conference. I mean, that would be very difficult for me to take, to be honest with you. And right now, I like Clemson where they are. I like Clemson being that one team outside of the SEC that battles with the SEC. I love them as a villain of the SEC. I know some of you dummies out there are going to say something about damn Ohio State. Ohio State can't beat nobody in the SEC. I mean, the bottom line is that we need somebody. We need a Clemson or a revived Florida State. I know Coach Norville's down there, and he's trying to revive that program down there. But I think that it's good that you have a Clemson that can take on anybody in the SEC and give them a run for their money. So I'm not really sold on them joining the SEC. I would much rather see maybe an Ohio State, maybe a Notre Dame, maybe some of the other teams that left out there, maybe a Penn State. You know, some of those guys try to come together and establish something to rival the SEC. I think the SEC needs a rival and not just all the best teams in America being that one conference together. I think that's going to get old just watching them beat up on each other all the time. And I think that we're in danger of that happening if we allow that to happen. So, Irv, what do you think?
So, Coach, let me ask you a question, though, and pertaining to all of these teams joining in conferences and stuff. Won't that hurt the power states from keeping their talent in state?
Possibly, but I mean, here's the deal. Like Ohio, I mean, you don't find a bunch of guys from Ohio in the SEC. They don't want to come down here because it's too hot. I mean, you know, they hate the weather. Nobody wants to come to Atlanta because of the traffic. You know what I mean? They'll give you a bunch of reasons why they don't want to come down here. They want to stay up in Ohio. They love the Midwest. They want to stay up in the Midwest. So I mean, I think it wouldn't be as big an impact as you think.
Because you know, like California, you don't see a lot of California kids saying, "Well, let me go to Utah."
I agree.
I agree. Or Florida kids saying, "Well, let me go to Ole Miss." When they thinking about Florida State, let me go to Ole Miss. But now when you got teams that's playing against these schools that's close to home for guys, well, they think, well, I'll be able to play at either Gainesville or Tallahassee to be closer to my family, and just go to a school that I can really progress and go further.
I agree. Well, we'll hold this conversation and kind of see where this thing goes. Last topic I really want to talk about, and we'll bring this up the next time around. Guys, there are kids out there right now who are talking about foregoing their senior year because they just want to go ahead and go to college and start making that cheddar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, this NIL thing, and that's why I said, Ms. Peavy, I wanted to wait to talk about your question, because this NIL thing now has, and it's not just 2 or 3 kids. There are a lot of kids out there now saying, why should I risk myself playing my senior year when I could get hurt or whatever, when I can just go ahead right now and save myself for college, and I might be making $1 million before I ever even take a snap. I mean, you know, right now I'm the #1 rated quarterback in my class in America, or I'm the #1 rated running back or wide receiver or whatever. Why in the world would I go out here and risk life and limb for everybody to get a doggone trophy, or my high school get a trophy, a ring or whatever, when I could be making $1 million before I even sign my contract? Because typically, once you say that I'm done playing high school football, that should now make you basically that you're going to college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm done with high school. I'm not playing anymore. So now that I've already done that, and I've got offers from everybody in America, and I'm ready to sign the paper and move on or whatever, I'm done. Let me go. And I mean, because there's not that many rules around this thing yet, I don't see how anybody can say you can't go.
Yeah, I love it.
What do you think? What do you think, Jason?
Well, you know how I am. I'm always going to be power to the players. And before people get upset about it, I just want to put this in perspective for everybody, because people forget this when it comes to sports. We all go to high school and college to what? Get a job to make us money to support ourselves. If they figured out how to get that money before they even have to get the job, who am I to tell them no? I'm all for it. If I'm getting more millionaires coming out, because at the end of the day, someone has to pay them for them to make that money. They're not just making it, they're not pulling it out of their butt and making it like somebody's feeding the system. So if I get a chance to be a millionaire, because that's what you send your kids to high school to get educated, to make money and progress through the world, by all means, go make that money, man. I ain't mad at them. They figure out the system later on. Why the system is broken, get what you can get and get out.
Miss Carey, what do you think? You sitting up there with that Chris Paul look on your face. What you got?
I think, I mean, I can see both sides of the argument. Like, I can see the reason why Jason thinks the way he does. And if you've earned it, if you've earned the name because of your talent, then yeah, and you figure out a way to make money from it, as soon as you can, you should start to be able to make money from it. But I think at some point there has to be parameters. I mean, it's just going to continue to get younger and younger. Like, I was watching, like, I follow a dude on TikTok. I think he's like 12 years old. He's a football player. And they're just talking about how phenomenal this 12-year-old boy is. And he's got like 1 million followers. And so you start, they're just gonna get younger and younger. So there has to be parameters around it.
Irv, what do you think?
So I seen Miss Peavy put in that the next move is high school players to get paid. Actually, there already has been happening.
Well, that's been happening since I played.
Yeah. So Mikey Williams, who's the #1 basketball player since his freshman year in high school, he got a big time deal before the college football quarterback did. So he's actually currently going into a senior year in high school, and he has one of those endorsements as well. But only because he's in a specific state that allows it. But
tell me where that state is. I need to go there. Tell me where that
is. California is it?
I about to say don't be keeping them nuggets.
California is it, and then they got states like New York and North Carolina that has like little small things on the inside of their deal with the NIL for high school players that is kind of like basically robbing the kids. But it's already happening. The crazy thing is how bad it's going to get, or is it going to get bad before it gets better? Like, we don't know. It's just starting out. I'm all for it, man. Like,
well, Matthew Callette's an attorney. He said movie stars get paid. He said once you start allowing them to get paid, you can't limit their amount.
Right.
So, good
That's
point.
True. That's true.
I'm just gonna say two things. I'm gonna cut down to two for you. I was gonna say three. I'm gonna say two. I'm for this because I think that for too long people have been being exploited on the collegiate level, and I could give you 1,000 ways that people would take Trevor Lawrence's likeness or Trevor Lawrence's number on his jersey or whatever and sell it and make $1 gazillion. If that's not exploitation, then why don't they just put any number on that? Put 00 on the jersey and put it and see how many you sell. But when you put Trevor Lawrence's number on that jersey, they're going to sell like hotcakes. Put his name on the back of it, they're going to sell like hotcakes. I think that's totally exploiting. So I don't have any problem with the NIL and the money. Only problem I have, is the last thing I'm going to say, where are the reparations? Give me my money. That's all I'm saying. Herb, don't you want the reparations?
Yes, I do. Why, yes, I do.
I agree, Mr. Peavy. Mr. Peavy said in Florida, Pop Warner kids get paid. And he's probably right. They do what their parents do. Guys, I mean, it's been amazing how we live in a country that loves sports that much. I mean, can you guys remember during the pandemic what everybody was asking for? Just put sports back on TV. Just give me something that I can watch.
Yes.
Just to take my mind off of all this stress and everything. I mean, sports truly are such a big part of our culture that it's amazing how it impacts us in ways that we don't even really acknowledge half the time. So, and that's why we have this show, and that's why we love talking about sports. Folks, it is actually 9:06, so we're 6 minutes overtime. Time for us to get out of here. I want to thank Matthew Collette, the Peavies. I know I saw Miss Ham, hey Miss Ham. So many other people I saw on here tonight. We want to thank everybody for being on here. Osiris, I like that name, Osiris. Hopefully we get Osiris to come back and see us again. Miss Carrie, glad to have you back from the desert. Herb, hold tight down in Chocolate City. I know that they about to clean your team out. I heard somebody say Bradley Beal on the chopping block.
We good.
So,
you want to stay? I got inside track. Let me call him up real quick.
I hear you.
Hey, Brad, don't leave, baby.
As always, Big J, we love you behind the scenes, but we damn sure love you when you come out here and voice your opinion. So we always appreciate that. Folks, we'll see y'all next week. Good night, Ms. Francis.
Straight from the hip. Thank you all. We will see you all next week.